All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first City Council meeting of December 6th. We do have a quorum. We'll declare the meeting open. I'm going to ask for Councilmember Josh Stevenson if he'll arrange for the pledge and lead us in an invocation, please.
Can you scouts come up and lead us in the pledge, please? Okay, here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, guys.
Excellent.
Y'all please join me in a moment of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, that we can come here today and be about the business of the city. Please grant us wisdom and the ability to do what is best for the people of the city of Sherman. Please protect our first responders as they go about their jobs and protecting us. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Josh. All right, we've got some minutes to approve. We've got minutes of the regular City Council meeting of November 1st, 2021, the called City Council meeting of November 10th, 2021, and the regular City Council meeting of November 15th, 2021. Everybody have a chance to review those minutes.
Move to approve all the above, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we are to citizen comments, and I did want to recognize the scouts. Appreciate y'all coming in tonight and helping us with the pledge. It's always an honor to have our scouts in the audience with us. Does anybody have any comments for the council regarding any of the items on the agenda this evening? Okay. If not, council is. Oh, sorry, Mr. Tracy.
What would you expect, right? What I'd like to address is one of the items council will be considering tonight, and that's D4. And what I want to talk about is just some concerns that were expressed by residents that live within the area of where this development is going to be constructed. And the concerns aren't just limited to this particular development, but several developments. There's one directly behind where I live. And what this is doing is adding a lot of traffic to the area. Now, I kidnapped Terrence Steele this week and took him out there and drove around and looked at some of the issues that regarding this area. And I would challenge any of you to go out there at 7 o'clock in the morning and park on Highway 11 or on Highway 56 and see all the traffic that's out there. Some of the issues that were raised by the residents is the lack of sidewalks for the middle school and the maintenance of the sidewalks on Highway 11 that run up and down by Crutchfield Elementary School. And I can assure you that in the morning, it's not just parents bringing their kids to school, but right now there's a lot of construction traffic, 18-wheelers hauling dirt. And then in the fall and the spring, we have the farmers that are out to the east that come down Leslie with 18-wheelers full of grain that go to the grain elevators. So that's always going on, but now there's a considerable amount of additional traffic with all this construction, with additional homeowners out there. It's going to add even more traffic. And there's an intersection there at Highway 11, Highway 56, and I discovered that Highway 56 all the way to 1417 is actually Lamar Street. So at any rate, Lamar 56, whatever you want to call it. But it starts merging up, and there's a lot of congestion, and I don't know how many accidents are there or whatever. But I went and talked to TxDOT last week, and they said they would look into it, and I talked to Terrence about it, and Terrence, it's back and forth between the city and the state, but the two need to come together. They need to make some tough decisions. People are going to resist. People are going to be upset. People aren't going to like it, but something's got to be done to improve the whole thing. Because right where the T intersection is of Highway 11 and 56, there's a business there. And the people coming out of that business try to go into that intersection, and they don't have a traffic light. And everybody on 56 going east and west and everybody going north on Highway 11 do have a traffic light. So it's like, what do you do? So something has to be done to correct all that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tracy. Okay, anyone else? Yes.
I was just want to introduce.
Yes, please, please come forward if you'll state your name and your pack and all that information for us, and that'd be great if you could introduce the.
I'm Brian Blagg, and this is Pack 7. We're the Tiger Den. So we are first graders, and we were doing Team Tiger, and they play a lot of sports, basketball and soccer, probably baseball too, but I'm on P&Z, so I wanted to show my kids a different type of team and how y'all work together to manage the whole city. So everybody, this is the mayor.
Hi. Everybody, sorry.
Had a big election. Remember all his signs everywhere? Probably.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this fulfills our advancement for Team Tiger, but we'll just
Good.
watch a few votes and then we'll sneak out back. I'm not gonna be able to keep their
Okay.
attention for the whole 2 hours.
I understand.
Do they
And then
want to
this is
turn
the
around
city
so their
council.
parents can get pictures? Did your parents or whoever
Yeah,
get
if we
pictures?
could have the mayor, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
okay.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
all
you
get
can-
over here.
You come up here and turn around, and then you can get a picture, with the mayor and everything. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I heard that. And then we're gonna be in the background too. Your smile.
Trying to look busy.
Huh?
Trying to
They've
look
been
busy.
walking up and down outside the building. Waiting to come in.
I'll have that.
All right.
All right. Anyone else this evening? That was fun. Thank you all for coming. Okay, we are to the consent agenda, C1. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion. Unless a council member or citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. The consent agenda includes items E7, E8, E9, E10, E11, E12, E13, E14, E15, F1, and F2. Would anybody like any of these broken apart for any reason?
I'll move for the consent agenda if no one has comments.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are to consent agenda with the, these items this is a different consent agenda to be considered to be routine and will be enacted when in motion subject to the staff review letter without discussion unless a council member or citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. These items include G3, G4, G5, and G6. Go ahead.
Move to approve double asterisk consent agenda.
Okay.
Second that, in consideration of the staff review letter.
Okay. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, at this time, we'll open public hearing. Linda, if you'll read D1 for us, please.
Ordinance 6435, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 8, subsection 5A, ordinance number 2280, so as to grant a specific use permit to allow a paint booth in an M1 light manufacturing district, O1.2 Sam Rayburn Overlay District at 2005 South Sam Rayburn Freeway, being Lot 1, Block 43R of the replat of Block 43R, Lot 1, Southside Edition, FRHP Lincolnshire LLC owner, Camping World tenant, and Corey Corbin Design Company representative, providing that this specific use permit shall be granted subject to certain conditions, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Rob?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, this item is for a specific use permit to allow a paint booth at the Camping World down there at 2005 South Sam Rayburn Highway. P&Z Commission voted to recommend approval 6-0.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Yes, sir. Hi.
Yes, sir. I represent the paint booth manufacturer.
Okay, if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Mike Bellows, and I work for Beacon Equipment Resources. We are a exclusive distributor for Global Finishing Solutions Paint Booth, which is the manufacturer of the booth that we are hoping to install at Camping World.
Okay, thank you, Mike. If we have any questions, we'll ask.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. If not, Linda, if you'll read D2 for us, please.
Ordinance 6436, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 8, subsection 5A, ordinance number 2280, so as to grant a specific use permit to allow no more than 235 patio homes in an R1 one-family residential district in the 3100 to 3500 blocks of Dripping Springs Road, being lots 15 through 28, Block B, lots 16 through 40, Block C, lots 1 through 18, Block D, lots 1 through 18, Block E, lots 1 through 18, Block F, lots 1 through 9, Block G, lots 1 through 58, Block H, lots 1 through 9, Block J, and lots 1 through 66, Block K, of the proposed replat of Sweetwater Springs Phase 2, a replat of Lot 15, Block B, Lot 16, Block C, Sweetwater Springs Subdivision, Block 7, Hilltop Estates, Lots 6 through 9, Block 1, Lots 2 through 5, Block 6, Midway Estates Addition, Lots 2 through 9, Block 1, Lots 2 through 9, Block 3, Lot 1, Block 2, and Lot 1, Block 4, Hilltop 2 Estates Phase 1. Barton Capital Limited and James and Laura Frame owners, S2 Land Development Developer, Strand Civil Engineer, and Pierce Murray Land Solutions Surveyor, providing that this specific use permit shall be granted subject to certain conditions, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Linda, and very impressive, I might add.
Wow.
Rob?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, this item is also related to D3 and G1 in your agenda, all part of the same development. This is for a specific use permit to allow 235 patio homes at this location off of Dripping Springs. The applicant has shown that they are providing the required open space as part of our patio home ordinance. P&Z approved recommendation for this 6-0.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening?
Hi, Justin Christ, 910 Pinecrest Drive, Richardson, Texas. I'm with the developer, S2 Land Development, and here to answer any questions for the council.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Linda, if you'll read D3 for us, please.
Ordinance 6437, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, ordinance number 2280, so as to include certain property within the R1 one-family residential district located in the 3100 to 3500 blocks of Dripping Springs Road, being 13.150 acres in the Eustacio Canton Survey Abstract Number 221 and the John Hendricks Survey Abstract Number 503, and being a part of Block 7 of a replat of a part of Block Number 5 and all of block numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 of Hilltop Estates, including a part of blocks 1 and 3 and all of blocks 2 and 4 of that replatted portion of said block 7, known as Phase 1 Hilltop 2 Estates Addition, also including all of that portion of said block 7 known as Midway Estates Phase 2, and including 2.81 acres lying within the limits of the dedicated streets Bryan Lane, Marion Lane, Harriet Drive, and Carter Court. Barton Capital Limited and James and Laura Frame owners, S2 Land Development Developer, Strand Civil Engineer, and Pierce Murray Land Solutions Surveyor, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, providing a repealing savings clause, severability clause, and an effective date, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Is there any? Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry. Got ahead of myself.
A portion of this development is zoned manufactured housing and is requesting to be rezoned to R1, so the entire development would be zoned R1. I did forget to mention on the last item that 5 citizens appeared before P&Z regarding this item with questions regarding flooding and traffic. We also received a letter from one resident in the ETJ with traffic concerns on Dripping Springs. P&Z did recommend approval, 6-0.
Thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item? Not Linda, if you'll read D4 for us, please.
Ordinance 6438, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, ordinance number 2280, so as to include certain property within the R2 multifamily residential district located at 2100 East Lamar Street, being 12.995 acres in the George B. Pilot Survey Abstract Number 963. Gary L. Matthews, owner, Wildwood Homes prospective buyer, Tim Pike, representative, and Preston Trail Land Surveying, surveyor, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, providing a repealing savings clause, severability clause, and an effective date, finding that that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Rob?
This item is for zone change from R1 and C1. The property is zoned C1 along Lamar and then R1 in the back of the property to R2. The developer would like to subdivide the land into 60-foot parcels to do duplex development. They're proposing 48 lots and 96 units at this site. Planning and zoning recommended approval 6-0.
Thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Linda, if you'll read D5 for us, please.
Ordinance 6439, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, Ordinance Number 2280, so as to include certain property within the R1 one-family residential district located in the 3800 block of West Houston Street, Tract 1 being 7.475 acres in the Fielding-Bacon Survey, Abstract Number 119, and Tract 2 being 3.513 acres in the Fielding-Bacon Survey, Abstract Number 119. F. George Nieberg, M.D. owner, Vilbig and Associates, LLC, civil engineer, representative, Kingdom Road Equity LLC developer, and Copley Land Surveying surveyor, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, providing a repealing, savings clause, severability clause, and an effective date, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Rob?
Yeah, this item is for a zone change. The portion along Houston Street is zoned C1, and they're asking for a rezoning to R1. So they can develop 306 lots for residential single family. The remaining portion of the tract is zoned R1 already. There were a few citizens that, 3 citizens appeared to P&Z to share concerns and comments about traffic and flooding. P&Z approved or recommended approval 6-0.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay. Oh. Come on up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Michael Carlisle with Kimley Horn. Address is 260 East Davis Street, Suite 100. Civil engineer on the project, moving forward through design, and happy to answer any questions and address any comments from any citizens.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, if you'll, anyone else before we move on? Okay. Linda, if you'll read D6 for us, please.
Ordinance 6440, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Section 12, Ordinance Number 2280, so as to include certain property within the R2 multifamily residential district located at 400 West U.S. Highway 82, being 22.109 acres in the J.B. McInerney Survey, Abstract Number 763. AJH Enterprises Limited owner, John David Cross, Cross Engineering Consultants, civil engineer, representative, Lee Engineering, parking study, and Underwood Drafting and Surveying surveyor, providing a penalty not to exceed $2,000, providing a repealing, savings clause, severability clause, and an effective date, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Rob?
This item is for a zone change from R1 to R2. So the developer plans to construct a 288-unit multifamily on the corner of Hickory and 82. It wouldn't be the entire site that you're seeing here, just on the corner of Hickory and 82. Planning and zoning approved or recommended approval 6-0.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening?
Good evening. My name is John David Cross. I'm with Cross Engineering Consultants in McKinney. We are at 1720 West Virginia Parkway, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on this project.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Cross. We'll be covering this in just a few minutes. Okay, anyone else speak on this item? Okay. If not, we'll close public hearing and consider the adoption of the ordinances. Council, questions, discussion on these items?
If there's no questions or discussions, I will move to adopt 6435, 6436, 6437, 6438, 6439, and 6440 as written.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm
Sure.
sorry. I know Mr. Tracy came up here and brought up the concern regarding traffic and that kind of thing and the lack of sidewalks. I have also been concerned about the lack of sidewalks in that area before it became a middle school. And of course, any of our new subdivisions. And that would be the one here. We are talking about D4. Do I have the right one? Yeah, I've got my finger on the right. And on East Lamar. So I just wanted to bring it into attention. It's not really the city that is responsible for the sidewalks because it is a state highway. We do require our new homes that are being built, if I remember correctly, that sidewalks must be put in. But we can't go back and on a public road require homeowners to put in sidewalks. I would like to see it. I have even recommended it to the school district, you know, that they might consider, especially on the south side of Highway 56, where it slopes down from a bed of a hill. And over the last few years, before I retired, I saw more and more students walking. So, Mr. Tracy, I am also concerned about that, but I'm not sure that the city can do anything about that. But we can at least, again, bring it up to the school district and can also mention it to TxDOT and see if we can at least maybe move along with that, okay?
Also, let me ask you a question, Robbie or Terrence. Sidewalks there on 56, is that a part of a requirement for this new development portion on just this duplex? Is there a requirement for sidewalks as part of this development there on 56?
Well, we don't have engineered plans on that yet. We'd have to, I'll see if that would be practical.
I mean, it'd be a sidewalk to nowhere at this point, but but I do know in a lot of our developments, including TxDOT projects, there are sidewalks requirements by the city. So,
right, and yeah, if it's practical to put them in, we'd make them put them in.
And there are students who walk through that field right now, or again, a few years ago, who walked through that field to get to when it was a high school. I'm assuming there may be some with middle school. And so just be aware of it, okay? I'm not sure that
and also, as part of that discussion, if there are sidewalks on 56, and, you know, we may want to look at speed limits and also crossing requirements where the kiddos are going to cross 56, because that's a very dangerous highway. So there's a lot more to this discussion than simply sidewalks.
There are currently school zones out there and a quasi crosswalk that we can consider coordinating with TxDOT with this development to make that more of an official.
the sidewalk, the crosswalk was put in a dumb spot, not where anybody crosses.
Well, that's the difficult part is you put a crosswalk somewhere, that doesn't mean it will get used.
Yeah, I understand.
It's going to require a crossing guard. I showed Terrence a handicap ramp to nowhere at the corner of Carr and 56. And it's just a ramp that goes up the hill and there's no sidewalk or anything there. Wow. But speaking with Aaron Bloom at TxDOT and speaking with Terrence, the whole issue is everybody pointing fingers, you know, it's their job, it's somebody's job. But my whole thing is that we can all sit here and blame one another, and we can all say it's somebody else's responsibility. TxDOT says the school is the city's, it's not their responsibility. And Terrence was telling me, well, it's the state's, it's not the city's responsibility. And that's where I say, and citizens say, it's time that the city and the state comes together. Yes, it is a state highway. Yes, it comes through the city of Sherman. And yes, something needs to be done. But just everybody complaining and shaking their heads that, yeah, something has to happen. Everybody needs to get together, put your heads together, and think about it. I worked for an engineering firm for 20 years, and that was my job to get everybody's head together and move forward.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tracy.
All right.
Well, I brought this up over 10 years ago.
And I would note that's a C1 commercially zoned right now, and a shopping center there would be much more difficult for students to be able to walk to school that direction. So,
Okay,
All right.
so we had a motion. Did we get a second?
And I'll second it.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh.
Motion
Sorry
and
about
second.
that, Josh.
All right. Any other discussion before we move on, council? We got it? All right. We got a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Linda, if you'll read E1 for us, please.
Resolution 6812, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of a purchase and sale agreement with Barrett Keith Brown for the purchase of approximately 39.95 acres of land generally located at the southwest corner of FM 691 and Lacima Road in the City of Sherman, Texas, finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Clint?
This resolution is to approve and ratify all actions that the city manager has taken to enter into a purchase agreement of about 40 acres of land just north of the water treatment plant, as seen on the map. The agreed price per our contract is $38,500 per acre, and the intent of this location would be to provide additional capacity to expand the water plant, and also basically to provide a potential regional raw water lake or reservoir to add resiliency to our water system.
You, Clint. Council, questions, discussion?
I move to approve.
second.
Motion,
Mayor?
Yes.
If I may, I would recommend that motion include an additional phrase to ratify all actions taken by the city manager in connection with this purchase.
I move to approve and to ratify all action taken by the city manager to approve this purchase.
I will second that motion.
All right, very good. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, Linda, if you'll read E2 for us, please.
Resolution 6813, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an agreement with Kara Massingale, doing business as Specs in the City under the City of Sherman's Central Business District Historic Building Restoration and Improvement Grant Program for improvements to 100 North Travis Street, finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Nate, good evening.
Mr. Mayor, good evening, council. This is a result of the city's efforts to reach out to business owners that were affected by the Halloween fire at Kelly Square. Excuse me. We hosted a meeting of those business owners a couple days after the fire with the assistant city managers and other city staff, in order to try to figure out some of the ways that the city could come alongside these businesses and help them reestablish as quickly as possible. Some of that help has included providing cost-free dumpsters to help clean out the building, things like that. This is another project that we worked on with one of the business owners, Ms. Massingale, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight. She is the owner of Specs in the City. She is relocating her business, at least temporarily, to the Boardwalk building at 100 North Travis. In order to do that, she's going to be required to finish out the space that was formerly Gelati's at a significant cost. By doing this, by suspending the rules of the grant program and doing a 50% matching grant instead of the usual 25, combining that with the efforts of the property owner to provide some rent relief, we believe we can get her back open for business within the next couple months at very little actual out-of-pocket cost to her. So we think that this would be a win-win for the city and for the business as well.
Nate, do we anticipate any other applicants to come through like this?
This situation was a little bit unique in that some of the business owners did have insurance, and those issues have to be settled ahead of time. In this case, there was not sufficient coverage to take care of what actually happened. So this one was the first one to come along because we needed to make sure that we got this money in the hands of the business owner as quickly as possible.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Nate. All right, Linda, if you'll read E3 for us, please.
Resolution 6814, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an interlocal agreement between the City of Sherman and Grayson College in order to establish guidelines for the Texhoma Regional Police Academy and the cadets that the Sherman Police Department sends to the academy. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Chief?
Get a picture.
I like that. Yeah. I like that model you got there.
Appreciate that. I do. Mayor, Council, good evening. The Texhoma Regional Police Academy is one of 2 police academies that we use. They have come under some new leadership within the last year, and one of their new directors' ambitions has been to formalize the expectations between the Regional Police Academy and the law enforcement agencies that utilize it. That was one of the hiccups that often came along during previous police academy sessions out there at the Regional Police Academy. So there's no financial obligations to this interlocal agreement. It just spells out the expectations. We do provide several instructors. It does allow us an opportunity to recoup some costs from that if we were to see fit. Most of the time we use that as part of the officer's day of work to provide that instruction. But it does allow for that, which I think was an olive branch from them, and I appreciate that. But again, nothing substantial other than formalizing the expectations between the police department and the Regional Police Academy. We've spoke. We're all in agreement with the terms that are in it, and that's pretty much the extent of that interlocal agreement.
Okay. Council, any questions for Chief?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, Linda, if you'll read E4 for us, please.
Resolution 6815, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with Park Hill Smith and Cooper Incorporated, doing business as Park Hill, for the Water System Emergency Backup Power Project. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Clint?
So this request is for approval of additional engineering fees of our water treatment plant emergency generator project. That increase has been created by the fact that we are now going to divide this project basically into 3 phases in order to increase the speed and effectiveness of some of those phases. So phase 1 will include the switchgear and the automatic transfer switch, which was a concern by our plant staff on switching from one of Encore's feed to the other feed. This would do that automatically. That is actually, we've got that out with Eaton in emergency services for them to start providing the equipment and installation of that, which we started that actually just this week. Phase 2 is to engage and bid out the actual generator. So Eaton will supply everything needed except the generator, and we will bid that out and make sure that it meets our specifications. And then essentially, in your mind, a generator, you drop it in and plug it in. There's way more details to that, but that's essentially what that phase 2 of the project would be. And then phase 3 is the generator and switchgear that would be needed at the lake pump station. So part of this process, and actually the next agenda item, is North Texas Municipal Water District is making electrical improvements to the entire pump station in Lake Texhoma. And because of that, we can't do our design until we know what their final design is. And so the 3rd phase would be to get final design from North Texas. Then Park Hill Smith and Cooper would get back with them, ensure that what we're putting in works with the new generators, switchgears, all that fun electrical information. So approval of this would allow us to kind of start phasing this out in hopes to get this done before the next emergency event.
So Clint, I know this is talking mainly about the water treatment plant. We have some similar issues, I believe, at our wastewater treatment plant. This does not address that, if I'm hearing that correctly, or it does?
That is a separate contract.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The second, please.
All right. Linda, if you'll read E5 for us, please.
Resolution 6816, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman approving the Greater Texoma Utility Authority's intention to contract with North Texas Municipal Water District for the cost share agreement for Lake Texoma Pump Station 2019 Electrical Improvements Project number 101-0530-19. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Clint?
This resolution would allow a GTUA to enter into a cost share agreement with the North Texas Municipal Water District. Any agreement that we enter in with North Texas is done through GTUA as our kind of our sponsoring entity for our water rights through the state. The total agreement is for $3.46 million, which is 20% of the total cost that North Texas Municipal Water District will intake to do the design and construction. The first phase is an Encore's substation, and that will start construction March of 2022. And then the second phase is the North Texas side of things. Encore will actually operate and maintain the substation, and then it deliver power to us or to North Texas, and then North Texas will design a switchgear for their pumps starting next month, with the expected construction to start actually this time next year. So this summer we should have final design in order to move forward with our portion of our generator work. The construction of that generator will obviously depend on how quickly this project moves forward, but it's a very very significant project that adds actually redundancy to the substations and allows for future expansion, as we will see very soon, needed for additional pump capacity for not just North Texas, but also the city of Sherman.
How would an additional 6-foot line just feeding ours affect this in the future?
So this design is set up for ultimate pump capacity for all of what Sherman has rights for and all of what North Texas has rights for.
But we had talked about maybe setting up a second line.
Yeah, so part of the ultimate design that North Texas has is to have 3 lines. The existing 72-inch, a proposed 84-inch, and then at some point in the next 20 years, an additional 84-inch. Okay. And so these expansion capacities will include all 3 very large water lines.
So move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a question, actually. If the project qualifies for the grant funding, how will that change our expense in this? Is it offset it via, says?
So we were awarded a certain amount of money through the ARP fund. I hope I'm getting my acronyms right, of about $9 million. And so we have a lot of projects in the city, and we allotted those to ones that we thought made sense. The federal government has come back and said there's certain stipulations on that money. So as long as we meet all those guidelines, we can use that pot for this project. If not, we'll find other projects that are already on the CIP list to use that for. It's just kind of moving the money in the different pots around. But the grant money will get used.
And Clint, just to clarify for me, this $13 million or $14 million in total project, that's just upgrades to the electrical system, not including generators or anything else that we're going to add.
Correct.
That's just bringing up the electrical system. Okay.
And that cost is for now. Next year, that could be, we won't be coming back with like change orders or anything. You know what costs are going right now.
Yeah, so that's part of this agreement is these are estimated costs.
Right.
And so whatever the final cost comes back, we'll be expected to pay whatever 20% of that new cost is. Encore, I think, has recently come back with an updated cost, but that updated cost is now fixed.
He's itching.
Yeah, Drew, if you want to come up.
Yeah.
Come on, Drew. Come up.
You're correct, Clint. The Encore portion is fixed. They say they will not come back, whether it's high or low, but that portion is fixed. The engineering is fixed. The construction on that, who knows? But they are new estimates. So for what that's worth. And also immediately upon the completion of this, that pump station will have 15 MGD more capacity because they can run their pumps unrestricted, which means that Sherman gets an additional 3 million gallons per day just day one of the electrical systems being in place on top of being able to add bigger pumps later on down the road and keep up with growth.
Or this year.
Yeah, there you go.
$1 a gallon.
And it also includes the land for the generators, the 2.5 acres.
First, yeah, that's true.
Josh, did you already?
I did.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
It was second. Darren, thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, we are to E6, accepting the contract with Lynn Vessels Construction LLC is complete for the construction of the Sherman Wastewater Treatment Plant Stormwater Management Project. Tom, come on up.
Council. So the purpose of this agenda item is to formally accept the construction for the wastewater treatment plant stormwater lift station project constructed by Lynn Vessels. They officially finished the project on June 24th. It does have a 2-year warranty. We did have one change order on the project. It reduced the project from $1.17 million to $933,000. A deduct of $184,000. And the funding was from loans made through the GTUA, through the Texas Water Development Board, Clean Water SRF Fund.
Now, when does that warranty begin exactly?
It begins at the date of substantial completion.
As
the June 24th.
As determined by us or the contractor?
By us.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a 2-year warranty.
So I'm kind of curious, just for my curiosity, we very seldom have these things come back to say, we just want y'all to approve that this has been complete. What, was there a change to this? That we need
The
to...
Water Development Board requires it. It's just a required stuff, a standard operating procedure for the Water Development Board.
Because this was funded through the Water Development Board.
Correct.
Not an open market, they had certain requirements on us approving a resolution of acceptance.
Correct.
We don't normally come back to council for a resolution of acceptance for other types of projects.
This was the first project of the $13.595 million undertaking at the wastewater treatment plant.
They're done now, right?
This is the first project. We still got 7 more. The others are in progress.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. All right, Linda, we are to G1. Will you read that for us?
Sure. Replat approval of Sweetwater Springs Phase 2, a replat of Lot 15, Block B, Lot 16, Block C, Sweetwater Springs Subdivision, Block 7, Hilltop Estates, Lots 6 through 9, Block 1, Lots 2 through 5, Block 6, Midway Estates Edition, Lots 2 through 9, Block 1, Lots 2 through 9, Block 3, Lot 1, Block 2, and Lot 1, Block 4, Hilltop 2 Estates, Phase 1, being 44.044 acres in Eustachio Canton Survey, Abstract Number 221, and the John Hendricks Survey, Abstract Number 503, and being all of Lots 15, Block B, and Lot 16, Block C, Sweetwater Springs Subdivision, and being a part of Block 7 of a replat of a part of Block Number 5, and all of Block Numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 of Hilltop Estates, including a part of Blocks 1 and 3 and all of Blocks 2 and 4 of that replatted portion of said Block 7, known as Phase 1, Hilltop 2 Estates Edition. Also including all of that portion of said Block 7, known as Midway Estates Phase 2, and 5.21 acres lying within the limits of the dedicated streets Hilltop Drive, Bryan Lane, Marion Lane, Harriet Drive, and Carter Court. Barton Capital Limited and James and Laura Frame owners, S2 Land Development Developer, Strand Civil Engineer, and Pierce Murray Land Solutions. Surveyor, 3100 to 3500 Block, Stripping Springs Road. Yay.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Rob.
Mayor, Council, this item is was removed off of consent because it was contingent on approval of the specific use permit and the zone change for Sweetwater Springs Phase 2. So this is the plat for those items, and it's up. Planning and Zoning approved it through consent, and it's up for your decision tonight.
Okay, Council.
Could I ask a question, because I didn't see it here? I see the part that we're talking about. It's all kind of in the pink or purple up there. What is in the area that it wraps around? What's in the...
Yeah, there's an existing property owner that's not involved in this project.
Okay, it's
in
just
the middle.
open property then. Okay, thank you.
Well, I don't know if this was by design from City Crews or not, but I appreciated them giving 18 or more percentage of the property to green space versus the 10% required. So that was kind of a nice addition.
I move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Linda, if you'll read G2 for us, please.
Replat approval of L.R. Kane Edition, lots 1 and 2, Block A, being a replat of lots 57 and 59, Block F, Maxi Edition, being lots 57 and 59, Block F, Maxi Edition. The Dunham Group, LLC, and Caitlin Davis, LLC owners, and ELD Engineering Incorporated Civil Engineer Surveyor, 1808 North Lockhart Street.
Okay, Rob?
This item is for replat. This property is requesting to be replatted into 2 lots to build single-family development. P&Z approved it unanimously in consent.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Council questions on this item?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council.
For the record, please note that I abstained.
Okay, and 1 abstention. Thank you, Josh. All right, we are to council comments. Justin, I'll start with you this evening.
No comment at this time.
Okay.
Great job with the parade. Everybody did great this week. A really big parade. We were actually at the front, made it to the end, and it was still going on. So great job with the parade.
I have no comments.
No, I could just ditto what Darren said there. I appreciated the parade. We all the city staff that work on that and organizing that and putting it together. I know it's a tough job, so we greatly appreciate all the efforts and the fire department, police department for manning the streets and the fire trucks and the fire engines. And we just missed old Betsy this year, and but she's getting tired, so we understand. That's right. Yeah. So, and this is a great night for our first full new city council here tonight. So,
oh yeah,
good having you on the board, Dobbs.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for pointing that out.
Glad you're here.
Yeah. I have no comments other than to thank my children for not setting anything on fire through this meeting.
Your turn.
No comment for me.
No comments. Okay. Thank you all for those comments. All right. So tomorrow we have a very special event. Please join us at 11 a.m. for the groundbreaking for the new police headquarters. We'll be gathered at the corner of North Gate and West Travis to make this momentous occasion. So I hope y'all will be there to attend this great event. Chief, we're going to have cake and
Whatever you bring is going to be great.
all right. There you go. Another item, the walking trail of Pecan Grove West will be filled with over 5.5 miles of twinkling lights this year, beginning December 11th. It's going to be really special. Parks and Rec will turn on the lights approximately 5:30 p.m. for a celebration complete with music, food trucks, hot chocolate, and games. For the rest of the month, the lights will turn on at 5:30 and turn off at 11 p.m. every night. That's going to be really special. Thank you for doing that, Teresa. Finally, tonight, our Senior Center and Library both have a month full of holiday-themed events over the course of the next several weeks. So please check out Facebook for a complete list. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to convene an executive session, item E.1. Resolution number 6812, under the section 55.1.072 of the Texas Open Meetings Act.
Okay, we have a resolution.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. All right, the City Council will now hold a closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act at Section 551.071 to receive legal advice regarding proposed interlocal agreement for animal shelter services with Grayson County, Texas, and related issues, and to receive legal advice regarding proposed amendment to the Bel Air Village Development, and at Section 551.074 to deliberate the Sherman Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors and the Sherman Economic Development Corporation ex officio member, in the Section 551.087 to discuss Project Charge and Project Edge. So at 5:49, we'll dismiss into executive session.